know, is it fair to ask, hey, Ryan, all we need you to do is basically do this every single week, what you did against the Chargers? Is that a fair ask, or what is fair?
No, he's somewhere in between those two games, right? Week 1 was the worst of Ryan Tannehill. Statistically, Sunday was the most accurate he's ever been in his career, going 20 of 24. And so you're probably not going to get that week in and week out either. But the one thing that was a major difference between what he did in week 1 and what he did in the playoffs, Darren, is that there was a next week this time. What he did in the playoffs had to stick with every fan, all of his teammates, and himself for an entire offseason, and it really ruined what was a great chance of that team as a number 1 seed to advance. What he did in week 1 stunk for that day, and he was able to turn the page last week, and I give him a lot of credit for that. When you talk about the quarterbacks who are behind him, Malik Willis and Will Levis, those guys, if they have a bad day, we have no idea down the road how they will react to what that is. You know what you're getting with Ryan Tannehill because he's been in the league and he's done it for so long. I was not at all surprised to see him bounce back. I think he had a great week of practice last week. You can tell that the guys in the locker room believe he's going to bounce back. They know how many battles he's been through, how willing he is to stand in the pocket and take an absolute beating behind a not-so-great offensive line. And then he's going to continue to try to deliver for this team to win football games. And yes, week 1 wasn't good. He'd be the first one to tell you that. But I think to a man, talking to people last week, they all believed he would bounce back in some way. Maybe they didn't know that he'd play as well as he did, but they thought he would have a good game on Sunday, and that's exactly what he did. He was locked in, and he delivered even when he was taking absolute shots. I mean, he got crushed on more than one occasion on Sunday, and he got up every time and would just deliver the next ball where it was supposed to be. The Titans don't win that game without Ryan Tannehill playing as well as he did. Will they get that every week from him? I don't know, but I think you're more likely to see games like that and leadership like that from Tannehill than you'll see the absolute egg he dropped in week 1.
Last thing on my end before I turn it over to Justin. One, I'd like to see Ryan Tannehill throw the ball downfield more. We talked about that yesterday on the show, and this is where I'm going with my next question. And he had hit Treylon Burks for that big play for 70 yards. What's realistic for Treylon? Can he build off a game like Sunday where, it was only 3 catches and he had one of them was a 70-yarder and he had 2 other catches that totaled 6 yards. But can Treylon Burks, what's realistic to expect from him moving forward the rest of the season, in your opinion?
I think he needs a couple more targets per game. He also has to do himself some favors by catching them. We had that one in New Orleans back in week 1 where he was wide open, ran a good route, and drops the ball on a key pass over the middle, I believe on a 3rd down. He can't do that. So he's got to be a little bit more consistent himself. But I also think that Tim Kelly has to target him more, and I think you want to take a few shots like what we saw on Sunday. I wouldn't mind once a game taking that shot downfield to Treylon Burks and saying, even in a 50-50 chance, I'm going to let him try and go make a play on this, and I think he's the Titans' best weapon to go do that. So I would like to see more of that. But the other thing about taking those shots, guys, and it worked on Sunday, to take a shot like that, you need to have the protection up front to allow you to take a 7-step drop or whatever it is and then step into the throw and get everything you need to on it to throw it down the field that far. On Sunday, the Titans used max protect on both of those throws, the deep balls, and it worked out well. But that means you only have 2 guys out there in the route. And so you've really got to find the right moment to do it. You got to get the protection to give Tannehill the time to throw it, and then you got to win the battles downfield. On Sunday, it worked perfectly. I'd like to see more of it, but there's a lot you're asking of every part of the offense in order to execute it the way they did on Sunday.
Steve, wanted to ask you for sure about the mix that they're trying to achieve between Derrick Henry and Tajay Spears. Obviously, it had a few more carries this time around for Derrick Henry, and they still use Spears effectively, and Spears obviously is somebody that Mike Vrabel is really high on and believes he has explosive type of talent here. But how, again, do they do this while continuing to run the offensive system through Derrick Henry? And are we starting to see, a bit of an adjustment to trying to get them both involved?
Well, Justin, it was fun to watch him on Sunday and the way they complemented each other because they are very different in their styles, but yet they were both very effective in the way the Titans used them. I think this is going to be maybe the biggest challenge for Tim Kelly for the rest of this season is how exactly to use them and make sure they complement each other. Because in week one, he tried to use them both, but I think the way he used them wasn't necessarily effective. He used a lot of Tajay Spears and didn't get a ton out of him. And then Derrick Henry was wildly effective when they used him, but they kind of lost track of him in the second half. And so I would say the way they tried to incorporate them together didn't work very well in week one. Then on Sunday, they get them both in there, and you get 25 touches for Henry out of the backfield. You get 8 carries for 49 yards for Spears. I thought the compliment that they had against the Chargers was perfect. And, you're not going to be perfect all the time, but finding that right mix and the right balance in terms of the touches for one guy versus the touches for the other guy, and then also when they come. Is it within the same drive? Is it at a 2-minute point in a half or whatever it may be? Dialing up the right moments and the right quantity for both of those guys, I think, is going to be key. He hit the perfect note on Sunday against the Chargers. We'll see how many times he can do that moving forward.
So the deep ball that we've seen here, and we saw 2 of them this past week, hopefully taking the lid off of the defense, because now you put it on film and now people have to respect it in some way. So my main question here, Steve, do you believe now we could see more of these things, more balls flying in the air? All of a sudden now we're the greatest show on turf because of the new turf down there at Nissan Stadium.
I would like to see them take a few more shots like that. As I just said, it requires a few different things to be able to do it effectively. You got to be able to hold off a pass rush to get that drop. You've got to allow the quarterback to step in it. And then you've got to have wide receivers who can go win balls. I wasn't sure last year the Titans had anybody who could really do that. I think you do now. I certainly think DeAndre Hopkins can. I certainly think Treylon Burks can. And I liked what I saw with Chris Moore in terms of taking that shot on Sunday and the catch that he made. I don't know if you have other guys, but that's 3 guys that I think you can count on moving the ball downfield, and those guys are going to go up and win balls for you more times than not. So I do think it's a part of this offense. How many times we're going to see it, or do they become the run and shoot or the fun and gun or anything like that? I don't think that's the DNA of this offense. But I do think they showed that they can do it. I do think defenses have to respect that now, and I think they would be wise to continue to take a shot or 2 a week to see what happens. Because the other thing about that, guys, and we saw it on that drive, you hit a 70-yard ball like that, it's not very hard to punch it in the end zone. It took them 2 plays to go the final 5 yards, and they're in the end zone. When you have to drive 75 yards in the NFL, if you don't get an X play of some sort, and it doesn't have to be a 70-yard ball, but if you have to drive the 75 yards or 80 yards with 3-yard runs and 7-yard passes, and it becomes a 12 or a 14-play drive, there's just too much that can go wrong, especially with this offense. A false start, a holding, a couple drop passes, whatever it would be. Now all of a sudden you're behind the chains, and the drive is probably over. You hit that X play, it just makes it so much easier to get points on your drive. And for this Titans team that averaged 17 points last year, I told you guys all offseason, the big question would be, can Tim Kelly and the new offense get a touchdown more per game to match up with this defense? Because I think they'll win a lot if they do. Well, guess what? Week 1, they scored 15 points, and it wasn't enough. Week 2, they got 24 points. Then they had to go to overtime to get 3 more, but that was enough. If they can get a touchdown more per game this season, I think with that defense, I think they're going to win a lot of games.
All right, Steve, last but not least for me, and that is, here we are in week 2 of the season, and this team was missing at least 3 that I can count, 3 starters on the team here, 2 on defense, 1 on offense here. But what is the prognosis for getting some of these players back, you think?
It's a good question. would be a little surprised as someone who had an appendectomy myself back in May how quickly Peter Skoronski will come back. My guess is he feels pretty good right now. I just don't know if he can be in the trenches and play offensive line in an NFL game on Sunday. We'll see. I'm actually very curious about that because my doctors told me you really shouldn't do anything for a month, and then they were like, well, at 2 weeks you can kind of start to push things if you feel good. But I'm sure if I told them, hey, I want to play an NFL game in 8 days, they would have looked at me like I was nuts, and no way. Now, Peter Skoronski is an NFL athlete and a lineman, so that one's going to be fascinating to me if he can come out and play this weekend. But I have no doubt when he comes back, and he is ready to go, he'll be ready to go and fine and play well for the offensive line. The two defensive guys worried me a little bit more, Justin, because one, Amani Hooker's had a few of these.
Yeah.
So how many more concussions can you have and keep going just for his long-term health, first and foremost? But two, it's kind of a compounding factor on the defense of will he be out there or not? You know, Kevin Byard's been remarkably available. Amani Hooker, not so much. Great player, great compliment to Byard, but he hasn't been out there as much as 31 has. And then with the Christian Fulton thing, I kind of just feel bad for him at this point because he did everything this offseason, by all accounts, to put himself in position to play every game this year. And he said that was his goal. The team adjusted his workouts and his practice schedule to try to get him to the season healthy and ready. And then he gets hurt in the first half of game one, and then he misses week 2. So 17 games is already not going to happen, and it's back to a soft tissue and the hamstring. So it feels like this is going to haunt him and hang with him forever. And does that mean he can come back this week? Or if he does, will he pull it again? Or can they rest him for 2 weeks and then finally get the rest of the season? I just don't have any faith that he's going to be out there consistently because it just seems, for whatever reason, that this is something that's going to haunt him.
I think when I was looking ahead at the I forgot, what do they call it, the projected line, or not, the look-ahead line, I think they had the Browns favored by like 4.5 or 5. It's down to 3. How do you see this playing out on Sunday? Let's end with that. How do you see this playing out in Cleveland? Do they get the win?
I think that's a pretty good line because basically what it says is they think it's a toss-up played in Cleveland. And I think that's probably about right. The Titans' offense on the road was terrible in week 1. And so they're going to have to answer some criticism and the bell when they get to Cleveland this week in the dog pound and handle the noise and produce. But I have more confidence based off of what I saw in the offense over the weekend that they can go up there, and if they don't turn the football over, that they can put up some points. I do think this defense is going to eliminate the Browns' run game, and then it's going to come down if they can get a turnover or make Deshaun Watson's day miserable. So I think it's going to be a really, really tight game. If the Titans can hold on to the football, get a little bit offensively, I think they can win a game on the road on Sunday against the Browns. But it really does come down to that offense, guys, because if they turn it over even once but certainly twice, that's probably it. So they can't have another performance like they had in New Orleans because they'll lose again. But if they can take care of the football, I just have such a great faith in that defense that I think they can win a close game.
I think it is going to be interesting to see it all play out. Steve, thanks for the visit as always. Have a great week. We'll talk soon.
You bet, guys. Always fun. Talk to you soon.
Steve Lehman, News Channel 5. You can check out his work tonight, 6 and 10 o'clock. We're wide open the rest of the hour if you want to get involved in the show. 615-844-5600 is the phone line and the text line. More of the McFarland Show next.
With 13 locations nationally, including Smyrna, Star Leasing Company is a semi-trailer one-stop shop and the perfect place to build a career as a semi-trailer mechanic. Seeking candidates with all levels of experience, Star Leasing Company has a semi-trailer technician trainee program with sign-on and quarterly bonuses and other opportunities such as $1,000 for having a yearly physical. Package also includes 401k with company match, health, dental, and vision insurance, competitive pay with weekly paychecks, and paid holidays and time off. Star Leasing Company, not your typical semi-trailer leasing company. It's starleasing.com to learn more.
Just because you can't see it or smell it, radon gas is everywhere. Caused by natural radioactive decay, it is the leading cause of lung cancer in women, children, and non-smoking men. And with Davidson County homes testing higher than the national average, now is the time for radon testing. Radon Mitigation is Nashville's licensed and NRPP certified radon mitigation company who can test your home, install systems, and maintain continuous meters for daily readouts on their simple-to-use app. Or you can test at home yourself by picking up one of the free DIY at-home test kits. Let Alex and his team at Radon Mitigation make your home a clean air home. Give them a call today at 931-47-RADON. That's 931-477-2366. Or online at ChooseRadont.com. That's ChooseRadont.com.
Hey, I'm Alex with Radon Mitigation, proud sponsor of the Atlanta Braves on WNSR.
Post-COVID travel is on a surge. Many of you are traveling for fun because you've been locked up for 2 years. Listen, whether you're traveling for fun to Italy, Greece, Spain, France, or somewhere else fun in the world, or USA, now is a great time to book before the crowds hit and save. Plus, with a strong U.S. dollar, you'll get more travel bang for your buck. Right now is a smart time to make your reservations and call low-cost airlines. With one phone call, you can let us do all the work for free. We'll shop hundreds of airlines, hotels, resorts, and give you a way to save huge money on your vacation plans. And if you call right now, we'll give you a free hotel room with a qualified travel purchase. So call right now.
800-704-1662. 800-704-1662. 800-704-1662. That's 800-704-1662.
Five-state forecast. Your exclusive National Sports Radio, WNSR Sky Scan forecast. For today, sunny skies, high 82. Clear tonight, patchy fog late, low 58. Areas of morning fog Wednesday, otherwise sunny, high 86. Sunny Thursday, high 86. Utilizing the resources of the WeatherBug Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist, Jim Rinaldi. Sports Radio, WNSR.
We're on the doorstep of another epic Braves postseason, and the Braves radio network is fired up for a run at the Fall Classic.
Waddle on the move, pitch on the way. This is stroked high in the air, deep right center field. Here comes some smoke. Wow!
Tonight, don't miss NL East Baseball live from Truist Park as Matt Olson and the Braves square up against Bryce Harper and the Phillies.
Coverage begins at 6:05 p.m. live on WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
Welcome back to the Strike and Spare Studios. You're listening to The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Indeed you are. Beautiful Tuesday here in Middle Tennessee. Darren and Justin McFarland with you, hence the name The McFarland Show. Monday through Friday, 2 to 4. You can also watch it on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Justin will give you a wave if you do.
I just did. We're good.
There you go. Yeah.
We're official.
615-844-5600 is the phone line and the text line. Let's go to Eric. He's first up. Eric, what's up?
Hey, guys. How y'all doing today?
Good, Eric.
Great.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I accidentally hung up for a minute there. I didn't know if I'd be first back through, guys. Guys, it's kind of been an up and down month for me. In the last week, I've had a couple that I know that I went to their wedding Saturday who've been dating for a number of years, about 10 years, but then also found out this past week that another couple I know is going through marital problems. So
that's what when we get older, man, there's all kinds of stuff starts happening around us, doesn't it?
Yeah, and speaking of that, guys, I will not be able to listen to the show tomorrow. Unfortunately, I'm undergoing a colonoscopy at this time tomorrow, so if I do catch the show, it might be the tail end of it. It's going to be my third one in the last 6 years.
Man,
so, not looking forward to it. Yeah, it's for low iron in my blood. So, guys, but on the good note, next week, a week from today, will be my 60th birthday. So,
hey, how about that?
Right.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about that, guys, is when I tell my 60 people don't believe it. The oldest I get guessed is about 40, 45, and I've even had a few people guess me in my mid to upper 30s. So I'm very appreciative.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah. Hey, guys,
Eric, I want
on
to tell you something real quick, and this just literally happened during the break, and how ironic that you're calling. Somebody who was a good friend of the show back in the day, 20 years ago, he was an Allstate agent. His name was Sean Brooks. He literally sent me a picture of Sports Night, and I guess we did a show from his Allstate agency up in Greenbrier back in the, it's 20 years old for sure. And the reason I bring it up, Eric, is because, Justin, we knew Eric then. I mean, Eric was calling in then. I mean, Eric is, a sports talk radio legend in this market. I mean, 20 years ago, heck, Eric was calling in just like he's calling in the show right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I've been calling in shows, believe it or not, guys, since I've been in high school. So that tells you how long I've been calling in sports radio. That's like the late 70s, early 80s. So,
boy.
Yeah. When at one point we only had one sports talk show in Nashville.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Guys, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna get off. I tell you what, I never thought this going in. I'm not saying they will. Believe it or not, I think the Titans do have a shot to win their next 3 games. Here's why I say that. We got Cleveland this Sunday. Of course, Cleveland's without Nick Chubb. Deshaun Watson is not playing well. If he doesn't all of a sudden get hot, I think the Titans might have a shot in this game. But it's going to be tough. Cincinnati, you didn't think this, but apparently Joe Burrow's re-aggravated his calf. If he may not be in the game, we might have a shot at that game. I don't know, but of course I don't like a chance of Joe Burrow's playing this is effective, but we'll see. And then of course we go to Indy, which you granted Anthony Richards is playing better. You don't like to count on W's, but I definitely think the next 3 games are winnable games. And then of course we play Baltimore and London.
Well, Anthony Richardson's been hurt a lot too, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot he had a concussion Sunday. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I forgot about that. So depending on our injury situation and what happens, guys, I really think the Titans have a shot at the next 3 games, guys. And I tell you what, one of the things I talked to, I don't have to talk to you guys about this, but one of the things that kind of aggravated me was, of course, I guess it was Friday. I don't know if you heard about this. Of course, they got into a discussion on Get Up. Of course, it was concerning Mike Greenberg's Jets. And, of course, they got into a discussion about quarterbacks who, if their teams fell out of the race, would go to the Jets. He had first mentioned Kirk Cousins, and he wanted to move heaven and earth to get Kirk Cousins, give him a first-round draft choice, because he thought if Kirk Cousins was here, we definitely have a shot at going to the Super Bowl. And then Bart Scott brought up Ryan Tannehill, and this is what Mike Greenberg said. He said, I don't want that guy anywhere near my organization. He's washed up. He's done. And basically, they went over the Titans' schedule up until the bye. He basically said that he didn't think the Titans were going to win a game going up to the bye. Well, of course, we all know what happened Sunday, but it's just, I just think it's hilarious. I thought it was cute at first with all this stuff, his love of the Jets, but now it's just kind of, it's gotten to the point where it's insane, and it's kind of making me sick. It's just, he seems like everything revolves around him for the Jets, and it's over the top, and it's just insane. Guys, I'll get off and let you get some other callers. Y'all take care, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Eric. Good luck to you,
We'll take our final break. Bill in Hendersonville will get you to close out hour number 1 of the McFarland Show. We'll do that next.
In a single moment, everything can change. When a player's sudden cardiac event brought a national football game to a halt, it shone a spotlight on the importance of CPR readiness. Now, with youth sports in full swing, the American Heart Association is rallying parents and coaches to be ready in an emergency. To be ready, learn hands-only CPR. It's a skill anyone can learn in minutes. Visit heart.org/hands-only-CPR and become a lifesaver today.
When you've experienced the loss of a loved one, you can trust SAG Funeral Home to guide you through the process of honoring their life. At SAG Funeral Home, they pride themselves in serving families in Nashville and surrounding areas with dignity, respect, and compassion. The staff is experienced in a variety of funeral services and can help you celebrate your loved one, no matter your religion, culture, or budget. Family and veteran-owned funeral home and cremations now are handled all in one location. We'll help create a personalized experience to pay tribute to your loved one's unique life. Ask about about the pre-planning service as well. SAG Funeral Home, serving Nashville and Middle Tennessee for over 40 years. In your time of need, you need someone you can trust, who can provide comfort to your family in a very professional way. SAG Funeral Home, 1503 Buchanan Street. Call today, 615-244-5044. 615-244-5044. SAG Funeral Home, for comfort and care in your time of need. SAG Funeral Home, proud sponsor of TSU football on WNSR.
I've got a unique vacation idea for you that's right here in the United States. If you're ready for a vacation that's fun and downright affordable, listen up. It's driving distance for many of you, so no planes, no airline delays, no hassles. It's Branson, Missouri, the entertainment capital of the Midwest. Live music for everyone. Branson has 3 beautiful, enormous lakes, water attractions, live shows, great food, and tons of entertainment. It's a perfect vacation for you and your family, or if you're retired and you want to have a great time. And you can stay in Branson for as low as $99 a night. Please understand, this is not a timeshare offer. It's a real vacation for as little as $99 a night. We've got a free vacation guide we want to send you right now. All you have to do is call for complete details. Get your free Branson, Missouri guide right now by calling this number.
800-413-3953. 800-413-3953. 800-413-3953. That's 800-413-3953.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
This is the Greg Vogue and John Burton Show.
These are on True TV. If you have Xfinity, just say True TV into your remote. It'll pop right up.
I tell my TV to do things, and it does.
Yeah, well, the things you ask your TV to do, I mean, you know.
Well, ever since I can't get Skinamax anymore.
Greg Vogue and News Channel 5's John Burton, WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
You're listening live from the Strike and Spare Studios, downtown Music City. It's the McFarland Show.
Indeed it is. 615-844-5600 is how you get in touch with the show. Let's go up to Hendersonville. Bill has done that. Bill, what's up?
Hey, fellas, I'll make this quick since I think we're short on time. Could it be that the Saints are a less talented but better coached defense, whereas the Chargers are more talented but not as well coached? Let's not forget the Chargers gave up almost over 500 yards to the Dolphins and made Ryan Tannehill look like a pretty competent quarterback. Whereas the Saints shut them down, and I watched the Saints play some last night. Their defense is really good.
Yeah,
it's been good for years.
Yeah, they've got some good players there. It's highly possible for sure, but the Chargers have got 2 guys on their team that are supposed to be all-world caliber type of players. One that's towards the backside of his career, and the other one that's at the beginning. But you would think between those two that they are supposed to be producing a little bit more than they have.
But Justin, your head coach of the Chargers is a defensive guru.
He is supposedly.
Well, he coached
supposedly. Yeah, right. I look. That is a fair, and it's something it's hard to fathom, right? Like, how does that happen? Like, someone comes from, they were really good on one side of the ball, and they get their opportunity as a head coach.
Yeah.
And that area where they came from, I mean, we just talked about this yesterday with Clark Lee. I mean, he's a defensive-minded coach, and yet Vanderbilt's problems right now are defense. Well, and Brandon Brandon Staley is no different, right? He came from the defensive side of the ball, and yet the Chargers are awful.
And the biggest example of that, Darren, is Brian Billick from back in the day, who was an offensive guy, and the Ravens were known for their defense.
Right. That's right. And
that's why they brought in Wonder Boy from Dallas. the coach.
Wow.
Right,
Herbert.
Kellen Moore. That's
Wow.
right. That's right.
So far, that's 0-2.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, Vikings and Chargers play each other. One of them is going to be 0-3 after this week.
Oh, the pressure's going
Guys,
to
I
break
gotta
pipes.
run.
All right, Bill, thank you.
Thank you, Bill. The pressure's going to break pipes coming up here this weekend between the Vikings and the Chargers. Somebody's leaving the building 0-3, if not 0-2-1, of course.
Well, let's just go on the premise somebody loses. It's not a tie. I mean, you don't want to say the season's over, but 0-3 holes do not get climbed out very often in the NFL.
No.
Typically, you're kind of toast if you start off 0-3.
Yeah, it's going to get, pretty bad for some of these, and the questions are going to start coming. If the Vikings end up 0-3, you want to think you just think the trade talks have started about their quarterback, Kirk Cousins. No. They're really going to pour on now if they end up at 0-3. There's going to be a lot of people saying, nope, time to get rid of them, time to move on.
Yep.
Time for us to move on out of hour number 1. We'll be back with our 3 o'clock hour coming up in a few minutes. Stay with us. The McFarland Show, Sports Radio 560 WNSR.
.560 AM, 95.9 FM, Brentwood, Nashville, 107.9 FM, Smyrna, Nashville's first 24-hour sports station. WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky addressing members of the UN General Assembly, making a plea to world leaders to help stop Russia's war in Ukraine. Zelensky saying what happens in Ukraine is a blueprint for the world. He used the grain ship attacks and blockades at Ukrainian ports as an example.
Even now, when Russia has undermined the Black Sea Grain Initiative, we are working to ensure food stability, and I hope that many of you will join us in these efforts.
Zelensky echoed calls made by President Biden to deal with Russia's aggression, warning that Russia continues to threaten nuclear war. 2 people arrested after the death of a 1-year-old boy at a Bronx daycare center due to exposure to fentanyl are now facing federal drug charges. 3 other children were also exposed and treated with the opioid overdose medication Narcan. On Wall Street, stocks down as the Fed board meets this week to weigh another interest rate hike. This is ABC News.
Hey y'all, this is Ronte, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich is the pimento cheese. I was like, go cheese, go pimento, go honey, go get it.
Hi, this is Chantrice, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich is the mild spiciness of the pickled jalapenos. No, it's the crispy chicken. Actually, I can't decide. It's the entire sandwich.
Order the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Available for a limited time. Real Chick-fil-A guests paid for their testimonials.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
We all know that Nashville life can get hectic. In the middle of all the madness that is life, don't forget to take care of yourself. Treat yourself to Nashville's ultimate relaxation experience at Mocara Spa at the Omni Nashville Hotel. With services for men and women, Mocara Spa at the Omni Nashville Hotel is your one-stop shop for full-body treatment. Begin your experience in the exquisite relaxation room, then enjoy a full-body treatment or even a couple's massage before finishing in the salon. Located on the 4th floor of the Omni Nashville Hotel, Mocara Spa is Nashville's highest quality self-care oasis. To book your experience or gain information on packages, call Mocara Spa today at 615-761-3600. Again, 615-761-3600. Or log on to theomnihotel.com. And with every booking, you'll have free valet parking and rooftop pool access to enjoy the Music City skyline. And through Labor Day, enjoy the 4th floor spa terrace for only $20. Mocara Spa at the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown.
Listen, you can't handle the truth. It's about to go off.
Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare studios.
Just a bit outside.
Now back to the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call or text now. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Call us or send us a text on the WNSR text line. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. Call or text. Same number.
Alrighty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Second hour of the program here on this Tuesday afternoon. Darren and Justin here with you. Damon Keene is alongside. Hope he's doing a little bit better than he was yesterday. Don't forget Friday evening. Got a high school juggernaut football game on these airwaves. Friendship Christian at Middle Tennessee Christian. The battle of the 5-0s. Somebody's going to suffer their first loss of the season. Check that out. I believe 6:45 is when the coverage begins on Friday night. Couple things to pass along on the Titans front, Justin. It looks like they have signed Kyle Pico, the defensive tackle, to the active roster from the practice squad.
Yeah.
They have waived Jaden Peavy, defensive lineman, from the active roster, and they have released from the practice squad defensive tackle Michael, was it Dumflower?
I think
from
so.
the practice squad. So just wanted to pass that along. I wanted to get into something because it's really bothered me. And I want us to talk about it because I think it's becoming a real problem in the NFL that I think they need to I don't know what the solution is. Well, I do know you need to beef up security. You need to crack down on this. This has got to stop at NFL games. It's been going on for a long time, but now because of social media, we get to see it all the time now because it's always out there after every weekend worth of NFL games action. You can just get on social media and you can just watch these rumbles in the stands, these battle royals in the stands, these huge fights and melees that happen in the stands at NFL games every single week around the league. And this Sunday night, the Patriots were hosting the Dolphins. We watched the Patriots fall to 0-2 on the year, and the Dolphins moved to 2-0. And a fan of the Patriots that's been a season ticket holder for 30 years was punched by a Dolphins fan. He hit his head on the ground. He lost consciousness. He never regained it. He died in the stands, Justin. He died in the stands at a football game on Sunday night, something he's done for 30 years. And he went to a football game to root on his favorite team. And I don't know the circumstances. I mean, I've seen the video. I don't know who started what. I don't know what's being said. I don't know. To me, it's irrelevant. These are adults fighting in the stands. And I know there is this one gigantic elephant in the room. There's one gigantic component to a lot of this stuff, right? And we all know what it is. It's alcohol. We get it. Alcohol probably plays a factor in all or most of these fights. But I just don't understand, Justin, why you can't go to a game and one person sitting close by can root for one team and the other can root for the other. And I get it. There's a lot of people that, you say to yourself, man, they deserve it. Like, you can't go into other people's houses and act like a fool, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've always said it. If you want to, if you want to keep the toilet seat up in your house or walk around in your house with your underwear on or go in your refrigerator and, drink milk from the carton, that's your business. You can do whatever you want in your house. But here's the deal. Don't go do it in somebody else's house, okay? That's their house. You don't do what you do in your house at somebody else's house because that's their house. And a lot of fans act like a fool in somebody else's place. And a lot of times, I've seen it, the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sporting events, if not thousands, that I've been to over the years in my time. I've seen some real stupidity in the stands, whether it's a hockey game, whether it's a baseball game, whether it's a football game, whether it's a basketball game, whether it's a NASCAR race, whether it's a soccer match. I mean, you fill in the blank sport, right? I've seen some real stupidity in the stands. But where on God's green earth is it acceptable that people should suit up or get in their car with their significant other or their friends and go to a sporting event and not come home because they got into a fight and their life is over? That to me is beyond ridiculousness. What are we talking about, Justin? These are supposed to be adults. You're fighting, like I said, it's every week, man. You get on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, or social media of your choice, you can watch like WWE brawls in the stands around NFL stadiums all over the country every single week. It's beyond ridiculous, man.
It is something that has gone on in sports for a very long time.
Yep.
My very first baseball game at Wrigley Field in Chicago, not event because I went to the home run derby, but actual baseball game was a situation where my father, to his credit, because he's been to 4 billion baseball games in his life, shielded me from a couple of guys throwing punches. I was, 10, 11 years old. I didn't know what was going on. I thought it was all about the game. I didn't know people were fighting in the stands. But I said, what were they fighting about? And my father simply said, beer. It's just, he was like, the simplest way to explain it to me at that age was the fact that they've been drinking and they'd lost control of themselves, essentially, and they ended up throwing haymakers there. Now, as I got older and I saw a little bit more, people internalize sports to a degree. And I'm even guilty of myself. Sometimes when people are talking about a sport or talking about their favorite team, they say we played well today, or we got our butts kicked today, or we are the champions, or we got really beat badly. Once you internalize it to that level, then you start taking it personally when things don't go your way. And when someone is there to remind you about how it's not going your way, depending on how you deal with it, can lead to a lot of the things that we see. And some people decide when they are disrespected or feel insulted, they could put hands on somebody else. That's just how they respond, whether it's warranted or not. They feel like they've been disrespected, and they feel like they're going to go put hands on somebody. And they feel like their manhood or their ego or their personhood or whatever it is needs defending in that moment, so they're ready to go to blows. And obviously, we all need to take a breath and think about it for a few. But Darren, what you're talking about has been going on in sports for decades. The stories about certain fan bases, and I'm not going to go out of my way to call a bunch of them out here, but everybody knows who they are, is notorious. People getting beat up for wearing the opposite team's jacket, in a
Giants
bathroom.
Dodgers.
Yeah,
Remember the guy that got the brick thrown at his head?
I mean, it's real. That stuff is real. There's a lot of stories around certain stadiums and places where people got belligerent. The legendary stories about the old jail in the bottom of the vet in Philadelphia. Well, why would they put a jail cell down there? Well, it's because, the people are getting a little rowdy and out of control. And do people need to take a breath? Yes. Are people going to take a breath? Well, it wouldn't seem as if that's going to happen. Because, again, people have lost control of themselves in situations when their passions are stirred beyond what they can contain.
There has been so many times over the years where I've been in the press box for so much, so many sporting events over the years, and there's been so many times I'm like, man, And there's been times when I just was like, no, I want. In 1995 and 97, I was covering that Cleveland Indians team that went to the World Series. 95 against the Braves, 97 against the Marlins, and I was at every game at Jacobs Field. And I chose not to get credentialed. I wanted to be a fan, someone that had rooted for them my entire life.
Yeah.
I wanted to be in the stands, right? Because all I knew is there was a movie about the Cleveland Indians and how lousy they were. It was one of my, it was my favorite movie of all time in Major League, and it was basically poking fun of the team that I loved, and basically, we all know. And just, we know the movie, right?
Yeah.
And
they were the butt of the joke the entire time.
Right, and growing up, they were the butt of the joke most of the time because they were awful. But it was like they got there. And I wanted to be, and I did. I covered them all season, in 95, in the press box and in the clubhouse. But for that playoff run, I wanted to be in the stands, and I did. I sat in the stands every single game in 95 and 97. I was at every single game and every single World Series game in the stands as a fan. It's been no different with other sports, and I'm like, I just want to sit in the stands. But here's the problem, Justin. The minute I get, and it's come with age too. Let's also preface that.
Yeah.
It was a lot easier to do that when I was much younger because you tolerate a lot more.
Oh yeah.
It's just a different stage of your life.
Yeah, different
as you
mindset.
get older. Yeah, things change, right? Yeah. Different mindset.
Different mindset.
It's just you just look at things differently.
It's like,
and,
I don't have to do that now. I'm not doing that. Yeah.
And over the years, like when I have sat out there, I'm like, these idiots, these people acting like this. You got a kid with you, and these person's talking. Every other word is a 4-letter word. And it's like, dude, this kid with me is 7.
Yeah.
Like, can you not talk like a sailor? Really? Do you not see this kid right next to me? Like, do you have to be screaming F-bombs right here? Because you know what? Because they just don't care. And I get it. They're probably lit. And they just don't care. They're not aware of anything. And who knows? Maybe I acted like. Well, I'm sure I did. I acted like a fool at sporting events when I was much younger, too. So, obviously, that changes when we get older, right? When we get older, we tolerate less. And I just found it to be unappealing to be in the stands most of the time at sporting events. And I found myself running back to the press box going, thank God, it's so much quieter in here.
And deal with all that.
I don't have to deal with all the nonsense that I've seen in the stands. And by the way, me and you have seen a lot of nonsense in the stands sitting in the press box.
Sitting from the press box, watching the melee and just going, boy, that looks rough.
Right.
And not concerning ourselves like, man, how fast can security get there? And hopefully they can get there before something happens. But it's just as real. And a lot of times it's not even fan of opposite teams. We've been playing a game where it's Titan fan versus Titan fan who's upset about something. And then they're in there wailing on each other. Metro Police have to go up there and get them down. We see this on the high school level. We've talked about it, a few weeks ago where, umpires and referees on the high school and middle school level no longer want to do games because of the abuse and the threat of fans, not of the players, of the fans. They don't want to have to go out there and deal with them. It's a real thing. It's a real thing, and it's sad because we all love sports, but the problem is I think we love it so much so that we get wrapped up and we don't have a limit. We don't have a limit to where the passion ends, and you're ready to go out there and lay it all out essentially for the team. That level just isn't warranted. 9 times out of 10, it just isn't. It's supposed to be fun at the end of the day. It really is. But it's turning, and social media has done nothing but make it worse in a lot of regards, because now a lot of these things end up with videos that last forever.
Well, I don't know but does it end up worse, or is it just bringing to light what me and you and a lot of people listening to this right now have known for decades and decades? Like, we know it exists. We're not naive.
I guess that's a good question.
But now we see it, right? And so to me, it brings light to it, and it should, when you bring light to something that we're talking about here, it should have you shaking your head going, my goodness, what are we doing? Like people rolling down the steps fighting, literally rolling or flipping over seats row by row fighting. It's like, wow, we're doing that. Like that's what we're doing at games.
Yeah, we're doing that,
Wow, or just literally knocking people. And look, again, I will tell you, me and a group of friends, back in the day, we went to Buffalo in December. We saw the Bills and the Vikings, Orchard Park, in a blizzard, okay? This was in
Stadium.
my 20s.
Yes,
this
sir.
is in my 20s, okay? And it was cold, and it was in a blizzard, and it was sold out, and it was Warren Moon leading the Vikings over the Bills.
Okay.
And at halftime, we went to we needed to go to the bathroom, and all of our layers of clothes, and we're trying to get to the bathroom at halftime, which is a nightmare. And I literally watched a dude get knocked out cold right in front of me. I don't even know what happened, but the next thing you know, there was a fist thrown, and this dude was laid out stiff as a board, and the thousands of people that, again, it's halftime, so everybody is going to the concourse, the concession stands, the bathrooms, and you know what people did, Justin? They stepped
kept it moving
over him, and they just kept going.
Yeah.
The dude's stiff as a board, and people are just walking over. They're just stepping over him to keep going.
Yeah.
Like, so this is in the 90s. So
not shocking, common occurrence.
So I get it. It's been going on forever.
Yeah.
But we're talking about someone Sunday night who went to a game and didn't come home, and their life is over.
Yeah.
And it's because of a fight in the stands?
Yeah.
Really?
It's trivial when it happens this way, but it's extremely, extremely sad at the same time. And, it should be a wake-up call for everyone to check themselves at football games or any sporting event to say, is this really worth it? Is this really worth going to jail? Is this really worth, somebody's life? Is this really worth, and a lot of people don't pause to think about it in that stretch. And so you end up with sad situations like this, unfortunately, where someone lost their life going to a football game because of a fight, because somebody said something, most likely. It's not even that anyone did anything physically, probably. It's probably someone said something. And now, punches are being thrown.
And now I'm assuming that Dolphins fan could spend the rest of his life or a good portion of his life behind bars, right?
Depending on how you charge him,
Right? I mean, I would assume he's in deep, deep trouble. And
Sure.
now his life is, and I get it, one life is, and that whole circle of that family's life is altered forever.
That is correct.
And now this person and their circle their life is going to be altered forever over a fight.
All these people are fathers and
at a
sons,
football
uncles,
game.
and whatever else.
Over a fight at a football game. Man, just doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't. All right, we'll step away. We'll take a break. We're wide open this hour. We can talk to you. We got a lot to get into. 615-844-5600. Nate, we'll get to you on the other side. We're getting some text rolling in as well. More of the McFarland Show here on Nashville Sports Radio.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
There aren't any cops around.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good.
Hey, I can hold my liquor.
I drink and drive all the time.
If you put away some drinks, put away your keys. Fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
I switched to Boost Mobile and got a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Want to know the best part?
It was free?
Nope.
The fact that it's on America's largest 5G networks?
Nope. It's the ding.
Oh yeah, love the ding.
Right? It's all about the ding. It's the dingarooski, the dingaroner, the ring-a-ding-ding.
Unleash your power to save with Boost. Get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone when you switch.
Boost Mobile. Unleash your power.
And the ding.
Limited time offer. New customers only. Available on select networks. 5G not available everywhere. One device per line. Tax excluded. Additional restrictions apply. See your local Boost Mobile store for details.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs, ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Switch to Boost Mobile and get the ultra smooth, ultra powerful iPhone 11 for $49.99.
He didn't stutter.
See every angle with dual cameras.
Make it a double.
All on America's largest 5G networks.
Large and in charge, baby.
Get with the power of Boost and get the iPhone 11 for $49.99.
That's half a Benjamin.
Boost Mobile.
Unleash your power.
ID verification required. New customers only at one per line. Additional restrictions apply. See boostmobile.com for details.
Welcome back to Total Wine. What brings you in today?
Hey, Ruthie. I need help filling the ultimate beach cooler.
Well, we have the most hard seltzers and amazing canned cocktails anywhere, like High Noon, Cutwater, White Claw, Truly, Topo Chico, Jack Daniels & Coke, Neutral Vodka Seltzer, and Cayman Jack Zero Sugar Margarita in cans.
Wow. I'm going to be the king of the cooler.
And we have them at the lowest prices in town. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
Hey, Tennessee! We're Zen Sports, the new sportsbook in town. We listen to your feedback on our competitors, so we designed Zen Sports just the way you wish. Set favorites, search and sort bets, and earn real cash rewards, saving you time and money with every bet you make. Find the bets you want, not those distracting bets that seem too good to be true, but rarely are. Best of all, withdraw your winnings in under 24 hours. So take control of your bets, because with Zen Sports, betting just got better. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and up and in Tennessee to bet.
The Braves are National League East champs, locking up their 6th straight division crown.
Ready with a 2-2. Here it comes. Got him swinging, strike 3. And the Braves are National League East champions for the 6th year in a row.
For the 6th straight season, the Braves are kings of the East. We'll bring you every pitch of the postseason as Atlanta makes a run at the Fall Classic.
Exclusively on WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
The McFarland Show. Video streaming live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube from the Strike and Spare studio.
All true things. 615-844-5600 is the phone line and the text line. Let's go to that phone line. Nate is standing by. Nate, what's up?
What's up, guys?
Hey, Nate.
I actually saw that story not too long before y'all started talking about it. And I hate that this stuff happens because it makes you not want to go to opposing arenas and stadiums. Like when, this was a few years ago, when Austin Watson was still playing with the Predators, there was a fan that was at St. Louis. And this was during Austin Watson's time where him and his, I guess, wife, I don't know if they're still together or not, but where they had issues, he pushed her to get her in the car because she was drunk. And at the game, the entire section was chanting wife beater to the girl who was probably in high school who was wearing the Austin Watson jersey. And ever since then, I'm like, I'm not going to St. Louis because I don't want to get in that situation and potentially put myself and my family and everyone else in, jeopardy, because I know how hot I can sometimes get. But
yeah. Look, it makes you wonder, or second guess, or rethink wanting to go on the road to places. It really does, because let's just call it what it is. Some places are just not safe. Like I said, I've been to a lot of rivalry games, and I've seen how ugly it can get. And sometimes it's self-inflicted by the opposition's fan base, and sometimes it's just you have the jersey, the jersey on of the opposition, you just have it on your body, and then you get, ridiculed, and you just get people are just belligerent towards you for no reason. So it can be a mix or a blend of both, and both are just like crazy. Like, why can't you just get along? And why can't you just say, I'm here rooting for one team, and the other person is here rooting for another, and just enjoy a game? Or just have. I've seen it, and I have seen. It's not like it doesn't exist. I've seen a lot of friendly banter, right? Where a lot of fans are really cool with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But then, obviously, we tend to focus because we see it and it gets out of hand, or something like this happens where it's people who, just don't know how to handle themselves in that situation, or they're just extremely intoxicated, and obviously poor decisions are made.
I was going to say, I had I just remembered, I had an encounter with two Blues fans who were really drunk at a Preds game once. They got thrown out. And then later after the game, me and my buddy were driving over the bridge on Demumbrian, and they saw us in the car. And I guess they somehow recognized us. I don't know how. They were so gone. And they started stumbling across the street to try and get to our car. So we unbuckled our seatbelts just in case. But thankfully the light turned green and we left. But yeah, it's crazy, man. Also, I know hockey season basically starts tomorrow with training camp. But I want to get your thoughts on the Mike Babcock situation, where he basically got fired. Let's just say what it is. He didn't resign; he got fired. They're trying to be nice to him. But I understand what he was trying to do, asking for players to show their families and everything on their phones, their pictures and stuff.
He wanted to see their phones, just to set this up for everybody, Justin, and everybody out there listening. Supposedly, Mike Babcock was asking players to turn over their phones so he could rifle through their pictures to basically see what kind of person they were.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And apparently, what has come out is the younger players were getting treated differently, shocker, than the vets. And that's really what caused this stir-up and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably time for teams to stop hiring Mike Babcock. I think we've seen enough.
I listened to 32 Thoughts, I think it was yesterday, and they said that they think that he's done.
Well,
which I'm not surprised.
Right, he needs to be done. Like it's time for Mike Babcock to go do whatever he would do, not being a head coach in the NHL anymore. Because that's my opinion, and I just think it's time for franchises to stop, organizations to stop hiring him. He needs to not be a head coach anymore. Like we've heard enough. Like we've seen and heard enough now. There's enough stuff on Mike Babcock, and I get it. The lure of winning is hard, but there's plenty of other coaches out there that can win you hockey games. It's just time for the league to stop hiring Mike Babcock. He needs to go away.
But that's all I got, guys. Hopefully, this week will be better in sports, but I guess we shall see.
We shall see. Thank you, Nate, as always, for the phone call. 615-844-5600 is the phone line, and the text line. Lauren and I used to go to every Predators. We had season tickets back in the day. We got season tickets. I bought season tickets not because I needed to, because I was working for the flagship station and I could get tickets anytime I wanted them. I did it when they were obviously having trouble selling tickets and the franchise was in peril, and so I wanted to help out, right?
Yes.
That was a big deal. They needed to sell more tickets, so we did, and I chopped it up amongst a couple of friends of mine. So basically, I had full season tickets, and they were like, great seats, down low, but I chopped them up amongst friends of mine, okay? And so they had 14 and tickets, and they had 14 tickets, and we had 14. So anyway, we had one of the worst experiences ever when the Flyers came to town. I mean, so much, so bad that we moved. We left our seats because
wow,
they were so obnoxious, they were so loud, they were so rude, and they just and again, I have no interest. We're not going to fight. Like, stop. We're not gonna, that's how this works. Like, we're just, if you're not, it's very clear that you're not going to stop. They're spilling beer all over people. They were barnyard animals, okay? And it was a whole row of Flyers fans.
Barnyard animals?
Oh, yeah, they were. It was disgusting.
Okay.
That they would act like that, especially in somebody else's barn. And finally, I just told Lauren, and I was like, let's just. We didn't leave the game. We literally went somewhere else, and it was it was a packed game. But I found the seats somewhere else, and we just left that area. But that's kind of ridiculous that you have to do that, right?
You would think, yeah. That's not something that, yeah.
It's just silly that you'd have to do that. But again, I'm not naive. I've been to thousands of sporting events, and I know it's been going on forever. And but yeah, I every time I have that thought of, man, I just want to get out of the press box and I want to go sit in the stands and be a fan and take in the experience, and then I go do it and I'm like, yeah, I want to go back to the press box, and it's a lot nicer and quieter there, and you don't have to deal with all the nonsense. And then I also, when you have those experiences, Justin, I see now why people, just decide in these days just stay home.
Absolutely.
And that's just why people are just like, yeah, peace out. I got a big TV at home with HD and a little mini fridge right here and a bathroom, and there's no lines and there's nobody screaming and nobody fighting, and I just stay at home.
Oh, man. You have to pay for all. I mean, there's a lot of advantages to staying at the house. There really is. Especially after you've gone to a number of games, unless the experience is something that's totally knocking your socks off. There's nothing wrong with staying at the house a little bit, even though I know our favorite professional sports teams don't want to hear that. But, they're fighting it, that when HD came out, when high definition came out, and then surround sounds and the invention of the man caves, like the modern man caves, not, like they're doing it now. It took a major bite out of people going to football games. There's no question about it. There's no debate about it. People can now, and not just only that, but Sunday Ticket, of course, has gone a big wave into that, where people can now watch their favorite team without leaving the house with their favorite drink. They're a few steps from their favorite restroom. They're a few steps away from their favorite food. They're not cold. They're not wet. They're not sitting in traffic. There's, it's a real thing that professional football has had to deal with. And college football, to be honest, has had to deal with that as well. And the atmosphere is part of that, especially if it's a hostile atmosphere. Not everybody wants to deal with, the people who've had a little bit too much to drink in row number, S, in seats 34 and 35. You just get worn out of it at times.
And the problem, Justin, is for all these examples of the bad experiences, we can sit here and also counter with all the great experiences, right? And the memories that we'll take with us the rest of our lives of the most incredible games we've ever been at that we'll always remember, right? That makes it all worth it. But it's just the balance, right? With the good comes the bad. Like, we've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah. Yeah, we
right?
have.
Is that fair to say?
No, it is fair to say. And not only that, Darren, you know what I cherish now is the Hall of Famers that we got to see. Now that, because we've been doing this long enough, that a lot of the guys we covered, especially in the early days, are in Canton now. And we saw them in their prime out there doing their thing. And you get to have a firsthand account of some of that. And you can't always get that at home. Sometimes you got to go out there to the yard and actually see, this, how great and how big, how fast, how strong. We know how strong Brent Favre's arm actually is. Because we've seen Brent Favre throw football passes. And it's not a figment to us. We've seen it. It's like, wow. First time I saw it in, the Coliseum, it literally took my breath away, Darren. It really did. I was like, wow, that ball jumps off of his arm like nothing I've ever seen. So sometimes you have to go there to see that. The preciseness and the precision of Peyton Manning. and the way the plays unfold and the way Marvin Harrison ran routes. Some of that stuff you have to be there in the stadium for. However, on the flip side, and all the majesty I just described, it can be a task. It can be a task getting to the stadium. It can be. It just can be. And that's nobody's fault. It's just the way it's set up, and it can be difficult to get in, difficult to get out.
Yep. 615-844-5600. Let's go to Doug. He's up next. Welcome in.
Hey, guys. You touched on part of the subject of why I've chosen not to go to public sporting events. You know, you said HD, Justin, you were dead on.
Yes, sir.
But the other thing that has added to all this consumption of alcohol is Uber. You can get as drunk as you want and catch a way home. Before, you had to figure out how to get home.
True.
Now, you can get home and be so drunk you can't remember. And also, you know, I was going to say something about it, but you hit it. You know, I was fortunate to be right there sitting with the Buffalo Bills' wives, significant others, family, at the Music City Miracle. I wouldn't take anything for that. But now, with the increase of alcohol consumption and just the lack of responsibility as adults around other children, you know, like I sent in the text, and that's why I enjoy travel baseball so much. It's kind of monitored a little bit now. People can have, you know, attitudes and get a little testy, but the consumption of alcohol is a major decision on the public sporting events that I go to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because most of the parks we play in do not sell alcohol, but we have been to some,
you know,
out of state.
It's not there, but
trips.
You can enjoy it without the fights and the fear of something, you know, popping off where you have to get to your car and you know, witness some kind of a assault. You know, it's why travel sporting is just so more comfortable to me now.
Well, we did go travel to St. Louis, Doug, to play in a tournament, and they did sell alcohol at that facility, and we played in the championship game against a team for
selling alcohol.
They did, yes. I was shocked because I was just like, what in the world? And then we played in the championship game against a team from St. Louis, and let me just tell you that I think they had been visiting the concession stand all day because they were quite a handful. So there was a little bit of that. That was a little bit of a surprise.
We went to Boston, and the thing that shocked our kids was the profanity of the kids and the parents and stuff, but no alcohol was sold in Boston. But, you know, now, you know, it's just kind of where the money thing is. You know, you always say follow the money, and you have to make money to keep these things going, and unfortunately that money means that some alcohol has to be sold.
Yep.
Thanks, man.
All right, thank you, Doug.
Thank you,
As
Doug.
always.
Appreciate it, man.
There has been a basketball coach in this state that has been given an extension.
Huh?
Justin, we'll talk about that
Okay.
on the other side. Also, we'll welcome your phone calls and text the rest of the way as well. 615-844-5600. More of the McFarland Show rolling along on this Tuesday. WNSR.
When you want down-home cooking, just head downtown. Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville Hotel serves traditional Southern cooking, sourced fresh and local, just like Grandma used to make. Start your day with a Southern smoked breakfast bowl or a Music City omelet. If you're looking for variety, hit the biggest breakfast buffet in Music City or get your fill at the world-famous Biscuit Bar. Kitchen Notes dishes up lunch with traditional Southern tomato pie, country ham, and classic picnic ambrosia. Serving breakfast Monday through Thursday from 7 a.m. to 10:30, and lunch is served 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And Kitchen Notes doesn't forget the brunch crowd. Brunch at Kitchen Notes is every Friday through Sunday from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m., featuring cast iron pancakes, made-to-order waffles and eggs, and ice-cold carafes of mimosas. Enjoy farm-to-table Southern dishes made from treasured family recipes. Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown.
This is something I wish I'd known. Many people who live in Tennessee are eligible for help paying for healthy food for pregnant and new moms, their babies, and young children, but don't realize it. Family income can be higher than you think. There's a website called TennesseeMeals.com for more information. Assistance for healthy food for expectant moms and young children. This information I need to share. TennesseeMeals.com.
Brought to you by the Tennessee Justice Center, the Tennessee Association of Broadcasters. And
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-898-6155 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-898-6155. That's 800-898-6155. What do you have to lose? Call 800-898-6155. Again, 800-898-6155.
Are you ready for a touchdown of flavor and excitement? Look no further than Sam's Place and Sam's Sports Grill, the ultimate destination for great food, fantastic drinks, and game time atmosphere that will have you cheering for more. Sam's is the place for every sports fan and food lover with over 40 TVs at every location. Sam's has a family-friendly atmosphere where everyone can have a blast. From their friendly staff to awesome kids menu, they've got something for everyone. Online at samsplace.net or samsportsgrill.com, or call and find the nearest location to you. At Sam's, the game is always on and the fun never stops.
It's a Bill King Show.
Lake Norman Buckeye. Bill will Saban actually coach that 24 quarterback. At some point, he's got to hang it up. Nothing lasts forever. I want to repeat, Nick Saban is doing his favorite thing right now. He's not trying to get to a moment in life to where he can go sit on the beach.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.
Text the Strike and Spare studio now at 615-844-5600. You're listening to The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
We went to Knoxville yesterday and had Vince Ferrara on, got his reaction, and the reaction of the Vols going down to the swamp and losing again. But that's not the news. The news is out of Knoxville, but it's not involving the football program. A.D. Danny White has extended the contract of one Rick Barnes. His contract will now go through the 2027-28 season.
Well, isn't that interesting? You know, the thing that comes to mind with that, Darren, is if you're the Vols, even though Rick Barnes has not done, got you to the mark maybe of where you want to be as a program, I think at some point you're looking around and going, well, can we do better than Rick Barnes? And if so, where is that coming from? Yeah. And if we can't do better than Rick Barnes, then we might as well go ahead and take care of him and lock him down here, for whatever the reason that that they had. I'm just putting that out there as a possibility. Even if he's not exactly what you want, can you do any better at your football, focused school? And the answer to that is, well, probably not. And if so, who is that? And how do you go get them? And I don't know if you got a plan for that. So, I can see both ways on this. I really can. But, it's that is interesting to do it now and do it in the middle of this season there for them, for the football season. But, later on it'll come up. After a bad loss against somebody, somebody will call and say, how much longer does Rick Barnes have on his contract? And you'll say, well, actually, they gave him an extension back in September. What? When? I missed it. I didn't understand, because people are not tuned in for college basketball right now. They're just not.
Yeah, look, it's, Rick Barnes is 69 years old. Okay. 69 years old. I don't know how long Rick Barnes is going to do this. I don't know what was the rush. Where's he going? Is he going somewhere else? Did I miss that? I don't think so. I think he loves it there. I think they love it. Rick Barnes is exactly what you want, right? For representing the university, he's a really, 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 really good college basketball coach. I mean, he's been there 8 years, and they're 108-22 with him at home, which, by the way, now is Food City Center. We'll have to get used to that, right? The Food City Center.
Oh, is that what we're doing now?
Yeah, their home record. Yeah, their home record has been unbelievable, and obviously they've got a big arena, and they've had great crowds, so they sell tickets. But he's been fantastic at home, and he's approaching the 800 win mark. It's such a weird thing, Justin. It's really hard to explain. And if you noticed how I said really, 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 really a lot. Good basketball coach, and he's probably a great basketball coach, and he's a Hall of Fame basketball coach, but it's just so weird to see a resume of a guy like that that's done it for a very long time and has won a lot. Like I said, he's approaching the 800 win mark. He will get it this season. That is Hall of Fame worthy, but it's to have that many wins and to have the success that he's had and to be at big programs. He wasn't doing this, at small schools, right? He's been doing this on big stages. Providence, Clemson, Texas for a long time, and now Tennessee for 8 seasons. It is amazing that a guy that has had that much success has been to one Final Four. You know what I mean? It's just weird that he's been to one Final Four. That's it. And that was 20 years ago. And he's had two Sweet 16 appearances. Obviously, they had one last season, a 25-win season, made it to the Sweet 16, and another Sweet 16 appearance. So 2 times he's made it to the Sweet 16 at Tennessee. But overall, he's really known for winning a ton of regular season games. And just for whatever reason, I can't explain it, it has the same ending almost every year in the NCAA tournament for Rick Barnes. And I don't know why. I think he's a fantastic person, fantastic college basketball coach. I don't know why the narrative doesn't change for him. You would think, just out of pure luck doing it this long, he'd have some, he's had some special players come through his program just by dumb luck. Somebody would have taken him all the way to the national championship game, or somebody would have, taken him all the way to the end and cut down the nets, right? Like at least one time.
Yeah.
But he's only been to a Final Four once. I can't explain it. I don't know why it happens. But with all that being said, kind of what you said at the beginning, are you going to do any better at Tennessee? No. We've seen it. I mean, I know Bruce Pearl and all that. Look, Bruce Pearl ain't coming back, so stop it. Don't even go there. But before all, Bruce Pearl, they've had it. We know what it looks like, with Jerry Green, and we can go down the list, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you're not going to do any better. And so that's what you have. And he can keep you relevant and going to the NCAA tournament every year. And I guess that should be what you strive for, right? I mean, if you get in, you got a chance. But unfortunately, we just kind of know how it ends every time. You get in, but it really never turns into that magical run for Rick Barnes. I don't know why. I don't root against him, but I also have been pretty, I've been pretty skeptical of Rick Barnes, and I know it makes some people mad, but I'm like, yeah, we kind of know how the story ends. We've seen it over and over and over and over and over again, and I don't know why it
Tennessee wants
happens.
to see it some more, apparently.
Well, I think it just gets down to what you, like I said, what you said.
Yeah.
Can you do better? Probably not.
And
so why don't you just stick with us?
And if you can do better, can you hold on to them?
Right. Right. So
that becomes the other challenge.
All right. Just wanted to pass that along. I don't have a problem with it. Again, because I just don't think you're going to do any better. Maybe it'll change for Rick Barnes. But look, this is what you know. They're going to be really, really, really good in the regular season. And then, just hope for the best. Hope that something changes once you get to the NCAA tournament. That's what I would say to Tennessee fans. Or that's what I would say to my wife, who's a Tennessee grad. We'll take our final break, come back and wrap up the Tuesday edition of the McFarland Show. We'll do that next.
You enjoy the thrill of gambling, but what happens when it becomes a problem? Whether you want to cut back or quit gambling altogether, the Gambling Clinic has been helping people change their gambling for over 2 decades. We're here to help, not to judge. The Gambling Clinic is a Tennessee-based clinic offering in-person and telehealth support to help people win back their life. Visit us at thegamblingclinic.com. This project is funded by the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services.
If you're looking for something fun to do with family, friends, co-workers, or clients, look no further than Strike and Spare Family Entertainment. Visit any of their 5 Middle Tennessee Strike and Spare Fun Center locations in Hermitage, Donaldson, Tusculum, Hendersonville, or Murfreesboro. With bowling, games, food, drink, and party options for all ages. Enjoy an enhanced experience in Hendersonville or Murfreesboro, where they feature additional fun with bumper cars, roller skating, bungee trampoline, laser tag, and much, much more. All locations of Strike and Spare Family Entertainment are open 7 days a week, including holidays. Check them out online at strikeandspare.com. Strike and Spare Family Entertainment, where fun is bowling.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. That's 800-649-0142.
Trusted for creative design and committed to both the function and aesthetics of your smile, Jody Jones Dentistry for 26 years has provided a wide range of general and cosmetic dentistry services along Nashville's Music Row and coming soon to Hermitage and Murfreesboro. The Nashville leader for cosmetic dentistry provides a unique luxury environment for patients who want his famous Hollywood smile. Just ask the country music stars, actors, athlete. Yeah, he was 8 years the dentist for the Predators to display his celebrity smile. To learn more, visit JodyJonesDDS.com or call 615-259-5100.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
But the news is out. If you have not heard, it is confirmed. It is a torn Achilles.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers' season is over. 4 snaps in, his season is over.
There's a lot of Jets fans, feeling the pain this morning. NFL version of the Cubs or Red Sox. It's that level of pain.
The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
Titans fans, Preds fans, we have you covered. The McFarland Show.
Couple texts that I want to read before we get out of here. Being in the arena to watch a hockey game live has no comparison in sports. Watching it on television is great, but you miss out on so much of the game. Shane in the Borough. Shane, I could not agree anymore. I do think there's 2 sports, in my opinion, that for whatever reason, it's just not the same watching on television. Does that mean that I don't watch them on television? No. It just means I agree with you, Shane. Hockey and baseball, Justin, in my opinion, are 2 sports that I just think being live in person does so much more for the experience than watching it on television.
Yeah, hockey especially, and I've witnessed hockey in person, a lot, like many people here in Nashville, and I admit it is a special thing. It's so much easier to follow the puck around the ice when you're there.
You're right.
You can see the line changes and the different types of things that are happening along the strategy front. When they pull the goaltender, you can see it when you're there in person. You can't see it on television. The power play really jumped out to me as well in person versus on television. You can physically see the advantage either way, where you're still trying to count guys on television because it can be tough to fit everybody in the same screen sometime, so you don't really see the advantage the way you do in person. So I'll give you that. It certainly brings much more understanding to the game in person than it does in television in the world of hockey.
I just enjoy baseball and hockey games in person so much better than watch on TV. I just do. I just think they're two sports that don't translate as well. Like while football, look, the other sports are fun to be at, but I just think because of especially football, the way it's covered and the cameras, right? Like you can enjoy it just as much at home, especially having the replays, right? You can stop it, you can rewind it, you can watch it. But to me, Shane, I agree with you. Hockey is probably number one to see in person than watch on television. And I just threw in baseball. Kevin down in Florida says Rick Barnes has one Final Four appearance and overall record of 25-26 in NCAA tournament games. He's a really good coach, but not around tournament time. Yeah, it's just that's what I said. I can't explain it, but he is a fantastic coach, and I don't know why he hasn't had more tournament experience.
Well, Darren can't explain it, neither can I, but maybe we'll try again tomorrow because we'll be back in about 22 hours to do it again here on the McFarland Show, Sports Radio 560 WNSR. We'll see you tomorrow.
On air and online, Sports Radio WNSR, Brentwood, Nashville. Okay, great. Are we ready to go? Fantastic. All right, to turn our attention to all things college football, we welcome in college football writer for The Athletic. It's our pal Stuart Mandel. Stuart, thanks so much for the time. How you doing?
Hey, guys. Good to see you.
Good to see you, too. I mean, couldn't have guessed that we'd be talking about Colorado, Oregon as much as we have. It's Tuesday, and we are already big time previewing that game. Broloff thinks that Oregon could be tight. What do you think?
This is the game. Well, I feel like every week people are like, oh, this is the week Colorado's going to get exposed and Coach Prime's going to go down and all that. But it's a huge point spread.